Bhagavan The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Yavanta, as far as possible, Vishaya, the objects of sense enjoyment, Preshta, pleasing to anyone, Trilokyam, within these three words, Ajita Indriyam, a person who is not self-controlled. Na shaknuvanti, are unable. Te, all those. Sarve, taken together. Pratipurayitum, to satisfy. Nripa, O king. So we will so the meaning is like Trilokyam for Ajitendriyam, the one who has uncontrolled senses. Even if he gets Trilokyam, even if he gets the three words. Na Shuknam Bhanti is unable. Even if they have everything, what? Pratipurayitum, to be satisfied. So if one senses are uncontrolled, even if he has the three words, cannot be satisfied. So this is the first verse that Vamanadeva speaks. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Yavanto Vishaya Preshtas Trilokyam Ajitendriya Na Shaknuvanti Te Sarve Pratipurayitum Nripa Yavanto Vishaya Preshtas Trilokyam Ajitendriyam Na Shaknuvanti Te Sarve Pratipurayitum Nripa Yavanto Vishaya Preshtas Trilokyam Ajitendriyam Na Shaknuvanti Te Sarve Pratipurayitum Nripa Yavanto Vishaya Preshtas Trilokyam Ajitendriyam Na Shaknuvanti Te Sarve Pratipurayitum Nripa Yavanto Vishaya Preshtas Trilokyam Ajitendriya Na Shaknuvanti Te Sarve Pratipurayitum Nripa. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The personality of God had said, O my dear King, even the entirety of whatever there might be within the three worlds to satisfy one's senses cannot satisfy a person whose senses are uncontrolled. Purport. The material world is an illusory energy to deviate the living entities from the path of self-realization. Good. The material world is an illusory energy to deviate the living entities from the path of self-realization. That's already enough. Anyone who is in this material world is extremely anxious to get more and more things for sense gratification. Actually, however, the purpose of life is not sense gratification, but self realization. Therefore, those who are too addicted to sense gratification are advised to practice the mystic yoga system or Astanga yoga system, consisting of yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, and so on. In this way, one can control the senses. The purpose of controlling the senses is to stop one's implication in the cycle of birth and death. As stated by Rishabhadeva, Nunam pramata kurute vikarmaya dindriya pritaya aprinoti nasadu manyeya tadapmanoyam asanna pikleshada ashadeha. When a person considers sense gratification the aim of life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living and engages in all kinds of sinful activities. He does not know that due to his past misdeeds, he has already received a body which, although temporary, is the cause of misery. Actually, the living entity should not have taken on a material body, but he has been awarded the material bodies for sense gratification. Therefore, I think it not befitting an intelligent man to involve himself again in activities of sense gratification, by which he perpetually gets material bodies one after another. Thus, according to Rishabhadev, the human beings in this material world are like just madmen, engaged in activities which they should not perform, but which they do perform only for sense gratification. Such activities are not good, because in this way one creates another body for his next life, as punishment for his nefarious activities. As soon as he gets another material body, he is put into repeated suffering in material existence. Therefore, the Vedic culture or Brahminical culture teaches one how to be satisfied with possessing the minimum necessities of life. To teach this highest culture, Varnashram Dhamma is recommended. The aim of Varnashrama divisions, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas, is to train one to control the senses and to be content with the bare necessities. Here, Lord Vamanadeva is an ideal brahmachari. As an ideal brahmachari, refuses Bali Maharaj offers to give him anything he might want. He says that without contentment, one could not be happy even if he possesses the property of the entire world, of the entire universe. In human society, therefore, the Brahminical culture, Kshatriya culture, and Vaishya culture must be maintained, and people must be taught how to be satisfied with only what they need. In modern civilization, there is no such education. Everyone tries to possess more, and everyone is dissatisfied and unhappy. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore establishing various farms, especially in America, to show how to be happy and content with minimum necessities of life and to save time for self-realization, which one can very easily achieve by chanting the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time the translation. The personality of God had said, "O my dear king, even the entirety of whatever there might be within the three worlds to satisfy one's senses cannot satisfy a person whose senses are uncontrolled." Please join me, we can pray together. Om Gyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha E Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jayatam Surato Pangor Mama Manda Matergati Matsarvaswa Padambujo Radha Madana Mohana Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, but my spiritual master has been opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. Therefore, I offer to him my most humble obeisances. Namaom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschathyade Jatarine Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. I'm always so surprised. It's so beautiful how Prabhupada is, how Srila Prabhupada writes. It's really beautiful. Even just the first sentence, where he says, the material world is an illusory energy to deviate the living entities from the path of self-realization. So we are constantly in touch. The material energy is constantly trying to take us away from self-realization. This is our service, no? To encourage us actually to move forward. And it's also very nice the teaching that Vamanadeva is giving us. This is the first sentence we read from Vamanadeva. You will have a few sentences. We can hear very carefully because this is what the Lord tell us. So the first thing he say, yes, if your senses are not controlled, you will never be happy, even if you get everything or the whole universe. And I want to ask you, so today mainly it will be what we will discuss is about how to be satisfied and what does it mean satisfaction. The principle I took, because if you notice, was very interesting in the second part of the purport, Srila Prabhupada says 4 times the same thing. It's speaking about that the Vedic, do you remember what is the Vedic culture teaching?
Life and being satisfied. This is only as much as I need.
Yes, with the bare necessities. So it says with the minimum necessities, one sentence says. The second one is to train one to control the senses and be content with the bare minimum. The third time he say this culture, the highest culture, he say. So must be maintained and people must be taught to be satisfied with only what they need. And then again he says in another time, then Prabhupada say the Krishna consciousness movement is therefore establishing farms to show how to be happy and content again with minimum necessities of life and save time for self-realization. So 4 times he says the same things. And I took as a principle that actually by learning to be satisfied with the minimum, then we can save time for self-realization and be happy. So something like that. We will see so what is the meaning of satisfaction. We will see also some examples and also in our practical life what we can do to cultivate this quality if we don't have it yet, to how to practice this quality. And now as a first thing I will ask you, We will do a little, I was thinking it's interesting. I want to ask you a question. If you can take a few moments just to think when were the moment that you felt really satisfied, that you felt happy and satisfied. So you can take a few minutes to think. So when would you like to share? Gorahari?
Just yesterday afternoon, we were giving premarital consultation
Okay,
to
okay.
devotees, and we were trying to help, trying. Right after that, I just was so happy inside. It seems all my small worries and my small
Shishirada Madana Mohana ki jai.
seems everything had disappeared because I was serving, helping some other devotees. I felt very happy and satisfied inside.
Wonderful. For you, Benuya?
For me, was the first walk for me in Lokana, as I already lived in Lokana, was about to join the Abhishek on the altar. And when these, when it was a small festival, only the pujas from here, no? And yeah, after this Abhishek, and I like it very much that we do the pujas do this together. And then I feel also after this festival, at the end of this festival, feel this is all I need.
I feel one usually feels satisfied when it's something, but the last moment, I think it was this moment when I go away.
Wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As I was also reflecting most of the time when you feel this inner satisfaction, ah, I'm sharing together. If I think it's connected, if myself when I thought actually, those are the time when I felt connected, some reciprocation from the Lord, or chanting, or when I felt connection with Radha and Krishna. Then I felt okay. Nothing else is needed actually. What is worry or anything? Nothing. This is what like connected. This connection with the inside with the Lord. But also, yeah, when you help others, I remember every time when I was doing, even now, or when I was doing book distribution, when you help others, you because the Lord is happy that you help others, so you become happy also and satisfied. And actually, our because here we speak about living simple life with bare necessity. Actually, our real wealth are this moment of connection with the Lord, and that will stay with us forever. If you say also in the spiritual world, it's in the song of the Damodarastakam prayer, it's the Ananda Kunden. How is the anyway? But there is the Vrijabhasi practically say that Lord Krishna is inundating them in pools, in lakes of happiness. So actually, this being satisfied, this being happy, this is our natural condition. Yeah. So Itidrik svalila bir ananda kunde svagosham nimajam tam akyapayantam. So this is this ananda kund, so this happiness are the moment of connection. And it came to my mind because as we were flying back from Vrindavan, we were recollecting, reading what were our experience. We take always time to write. And there was a beautiful sentence that I would like to share with you from Hariparshat Prabhu, and something from His Holiness Sachinandana Swami. And Hariparshat Prabhu was saying, actually, we all look for that moment where we are able to turn towards Krishna with love. That's all that matters in this life. This moment when we can really come to our, in the deepest part of our heart, And when we can turn with love and we can pray, we can connect, that's all what we need. Actually, nothing else. No matter where we are, what we have, what we don't have, if someone is chastising us, if someone, actually, when we have this is the highest wealth. In Vrindavan, they say, Paramadana Radha Shirada Shirada. Amaradana Radha Shirada Shirada. They say, Amaradana, my wealth is Shrimati Radharani. And the highest Paramadana wealth is Shrimati Radharani. So only this. And in Vrindavan, we can easily see, although many times they seems to be very poor, what? But they have this happiness. You can see from their eyes, you can see the eyes of the soul, this happiness inside, because they have the greatest wealth, that is this connection. So what really gives us connection is this, this satisfaction, is this connection with the Lord. And I was then thinking, what is the meaning of satisfaction? Immediately, some verses from what came to my mind from the Bhagavatam. There is, remember, because it's Yayatma Suprasidati. That's also what gives the suprasidati, not even just satisfaction, the highest satisfaction. And this, if you remember, there is this verse that says, Savai pumsa parodharmo yato bhaktir adokshaje ahai tuki apratiyata yayatma suprasidati. So the highest dharma, what is most important for a human being? What is most important? Yato bhaktir adokshaje, bhaktir. Unto adokshaja, the one that cannot be perceived. And yayatma, in this only in this way, suprasidati. We can be happy and satisfied. So this is what the Bhagavatam say. And I was also thinking then another place where I remembered about satisfaction. It's also in the Bhagavad Gita. Do you remember some place? You know, because I was telling you. Yes, there is a place where he's speaking what is satisfaction and Lord Krishna. I can help you. So actually there is a place when is speaking austerity of the mind. So Lord Krishna said that the austerity, one of the austerity of the mind, he mentioned different austerities, but one of the austerities is satisfaction. So again, it's a practice. It's the austerity of the mind. It means actually our mind, I don't know if you notice, I notice my mind has always the tendency to complain, to see what is lacking, what is not good. But so to train the mind to be satisfied, it's an austerity. But this is the wealth of the Brahmana. We will see in few verses after that, and what Prabhupada says, our wealth of Brahmana is to be satisfied. Because if we are not satisfied, actually, in few verses after, we will see, we will lose actually our spiritual power. So austerity of the mind to be satisfied. Then I was also thinking again on the meaning, and even in Latin, satisfaction is a soddisfazione, soddisfare. It means satis, that means enough, and facere, that means to make. So satisfaction means to make enough. So whatever you have, that's good enough. And then you will be satisfied, not thinking of wanting enough. What you have, it's enough. So this is the meaning in Latin. And for that, we come back again to what Srila Prabhupada was mentioning in the purport, the 4 or 5 times about being satisfied with the bare minimum necessities of life, not looking for more. And it came to my mind also yesterday, we were also listening when Srila Prabhupada actually left, was close to leave the body. And he was saying, yeah, I don't feel completely satisfied. And the devotees told to him, is it because you could not finish the Bhagavatam completely? And then he said, no, actually I did only 50% of my mission. The second 50% I wanted to establish Varnashrama Dharma and living in the farm. And then someone was asking, how will you do that? He say, if I would be, now if I could do that, I would just go there and teaching you how to live simply from the earth, from the land. So again, this simple life. Prabhupada would say simple life and high thinking, like he mentions in one of the sentences that we were reading. So to live with what is minimum, so that we save time for self-realization. Because the more we complicate our life, the more we need time to maintain, the more we need to do things, and the less time we have for what we were saying, for what really matters to us. If now we will have to die, what is really matter to us? So, yeah, so these were some thought on the meaning of satisfaction that I was thinking. Then I was thinking, okay, some example of satisfaction. And definitely the first that came again to my awareness from Vrindavan. And this year we had one of the program that we do on the living in Vraj. So we go to different places and we speak also with the sadhu, the saintly person in those places. And we went to Chandra Sarovara, a beautiful, the lake made by the tears of the moon god when he was seeing Radha and Krishna dancing. So this is the lake. And there we were thinking, okay, who we will interview, because normally we do some interview and we look for someone to interview. And we met, so there is a lake that is like octagonal shape. And in each corner of the octagon, there are some, on the top, there are some, how do you call this? Gazebo kind of constructions on top of each eight, in which covered, and on each of these, there are kind of small platforms, and there are eight poets. These are the Vaishnava poets of the Vallabha Sampradaya. But under this, so there are some murtis. And between that platform and then down the lake, there is like maybe this high, maybe 1.5 meters places, octagonal, where there is a small door. And inside, in those places, there are living some sadhus, some saintly persons, some devotees. But as you can imagine, it's if you are too tall, you cannot even stretch your legs. But it's like maybe 180, something like that, and a high like this. So you cannot have much things there. And so we met this Krishna Das Baba and Vaishnava also from the Gaudiya, so from our tradition. And again, you could see, because we saw his small kutir, nothing. There is just a small altar. There is a small window looking to the lake of tears of the moon, and a few belongings, one pair to change, and one broom to do his wonderful services. His service is to sweep the floor, the ground. And but as he was speaking with us, we could see like these eyes, so much happiness, so much satisfaction. His only concern was, he was saying, yeah, he was telling us about chanting the holy name. Only the holy name can give us, bring us to Radha and Krishna. He was saying, yes. He say, but whenever I chant, I say, oh my dear Lord, I am so sinful. I did so many sinful activities, but please, you are so kind. Please accept me. You are so kind. He said, I always pray like this. And he was telling us, please give me blessings that I can one day chant the holy name. He was telling us, we felt, when he was telling, because with such humility, he was saying, we felt like, who are we really? So this is one example. And I remembered also the year, 1 or 2 years ago also, where we were also again walking in Vrindavan. We were close to Varshana, and we were discovering sometimes some new places like this. And as we were walking in this path, we noticed there were like maybe 4 or 5 pilu trees. These are the big trees in Vrindavan, and you can see that many times they are kind of bending, curved, touching the ground. We saw a few of these old, beautiful trees, and there was a small lake. And we thought, we were in 3 of us, pilgrims, we were walking, and we looked, we saw, wow, so beautiful this place. What is this place? But nothing was there practically. But we just felt somewhere rather attracted. We came closer to look at the place. And finally, we discovered that in this place, there is a cave. And again, one Gaudiya Vaishnava also, one sadhu, one Baba, Nayana Baba, live more or less our age, nothing more, our age. But at some point, he decided to simply go to leave everything. He left everything. He's living in a cave, but this cave is even it's just something like that. So he digged.
In the ground. It's not like stone that you are conventional.
He was digging this place in the ground. So you can imagine in a society, in a place where we build up stores in New York of 200, 300, we are building so many things. But he built something inside the earth, a small place where it doesn't want to see anyone or speak with anyone or be distracted by anything. And it's day and night just chanting. Again, because we went down, we didn't know. They say you go down, so we went down in this small cave, everything dark. We put it our torch like this, and it was lighting up this Baba with such a smile from here. Again, this happiness one cannot forget. I never saw something like this. So again, they have nothing. Nothing is in their possession, but they are so happy and so satisfied. Again, because of this connection. Yeah, the Goswamis as well. These are someone that we saw like this, but when we think also of the Goswami, they also left everything. Every night they would sleep under a different tree. Nothing. But again, they have the greatest wealth, the wealth of love for Radha and Krishna. This connection. That's then it's not difficult, no problem cold, no problem hot, nothing, because you are carried on a different energy level. So then we come to the last part. So how to cultivate this quality? Because also Srila Prabhupada, I remember in the introduction of the Nectar of Instruction, how he speaks about Krishna consciousness, that is a cultivation. So we can, again, if we don't have this quality, like also Krishna saying in Bhagavad Gita, it's an austerity of the mind. So if we see that we don't have this quality, we can practice. We can practice, we can desire, we can pray, and then the Lord might grant us this possibility to develop also this quality and to move forward. So I had how to cultivate this quality. I mean, first I took from what we start from the external. That's the easiest, or this we can do, at least very easy. Like Prabhupada would say, we need to teach to live with the bare necessities of life. So at least in the environment where we are, every once a month, if there is something we can check, I don't need and I don't use, just give it away. This is something outside, but it helps also inside, because gradually we learn to let go of what is not important. There was also one sadhu, is mentioned in the Saints of Raj, that he was very careful actually what he was bringing inside this kutir, because it's not just about the thing. There is a connection. We establish a connection with all the things that are around. They take some space in our mind. Yeah. So our mind become crowded by so many things. So as more as we learn to let go, so this is very practical, but this is something that we can really do. So from time to time, just declutter, just throw away what is not necessary. And also as we move forward in the Varnashrama system towards becoming older, we slowly learn to live with less things, that we don't need so much things to always carry with us. And then, then the second thing I was thinking that's so this is external, but as we understood, actually, the satisfaction is something inside. When we are satisfied inside, actually we need even less outside. It's from the in out, not from the out in. And that was also actually something that it's as I was going through what my some or other experience that I had in Vrindavan, and I wrote, okay, in one part I wrote what are my active implementations of what I will do when I will go back to Germany. And one of them, actually I didn't know, but I was just reading this morning again, is find spiritual satisfaction. That's was one of my active implementation. And for me means like, take time to nourish my spiritual practice. So, and that, I mean, for each one of us can be different. But yeah, again, so it's to be satisfied, we need to make a mentality adjustment. It's a choice. It will is not many times we think I see myself, as we say, the tendency of the mind, we complain or lament, or actually if the situation will be like this, or if this will be like this, then. But it's not by change by changing the condition, but it's by focusing on what we have. As we say, like I was thinking also like how much it's connected with gratitude also, this being satisfied. So look to what we have. Be so grateful, like every morning when we wake up. Also, by Sheshika Prabhu, I think he was saying during the Prabhupada disappearance day, that one God brother was saying, when I wake up, as soon as I put my feet down the floor, I say, thank you, Srila Prabhupada. So this also, be aware of what we have. This will bring satisfaction also. And yeah, maybe I will actually just not add much more. And just one last thing I found very happy this morning, because I was meditating on these matters. Let's see if I find it. Yeah, I was. We were singing the Chetodarpana Manjanam, and I was, and then I felt, wow. This I was thinking also on these sadhus, the saintly personality that we saw, or the Goswamis. And also the prayer, they say, Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita, is also the spiritual master, is always decorated with tears. So I was thinking, yes, actually, even those saints, they have nothing, but they have real jewels. They have jewels of tears, they have jewels of trembling, their voice is choking up, and they are very rich. They are so the richness of the ecstasy of love. This is what they have. And yeah. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say, because everything is perfect, the situation the Lord is giving us is perfect. If we sit in a way that itself can help us actually to progress spiritually. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, so I have everything, because we have the holy name, we have the deities, we have the devotees, but Durdaivam, I'm a little unfortunate. And because the problem again comes to the same, Nanuraga, I don't have taste. So, but in this way, like learning to practice this quality, we can pray for it. Also to develop, to remember even those personalities. And yes, this is a little bit what I wanted to share with you. So we started to also reflect a little bit what were our when we were satisfied and happy, when were this moment of satisfaction in our life. We saw also a little bit the meaning of what does it mean to satisfaction, and we quoted from the Bhagavatam, like what is Yayatma Suprasidati. What really makes the soul happy is actually this loving relationship with Radha and Krishna, and this connection. When we feel this moment of connection, and Ari Parshar say that's all what matters in this life. We all look for this moment where we feel closeness to the Lord, this intimacy with the Lord. And how Bhagavad Gita said the austerity of the mind is to practice being satisfied. We saw some of the examples of this, and then how to cultivate this quality. On one side, very practical. So from time to time, let go of things that you don't need. And the second one, we were speaking about this mentality adjustment. So choosing to be satisfying, like focus on what you have, be grateful. And if you would like, I could just share it with you. It's another way to develop this mentality adjustment is called reflective meditation. So we can meditate on this quality, how to meditate on this quality, so that gradually it becomes part of ourselves. So I don't know, I see the time is already passing. If you have just one short, if you have a question, yes, go ahead.
First of all, thank you for lecture. I was just thinking of what ego is based on I and mine.
Mhm.
And actually, all the things that we think are ours are just amplifying this feeling of
Strengthening
ego.
this.
And I was thinking also of Kuraveccia Srila,
Mhm.
who was so poor, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was saying, you are the most rich, you have amazing
Aha,
fortune,
aha.
you have amazing fortune. I know. He was speaking of this fortune of the heart. One question, because Prabhupada said we should live with the bare necessity
Yes.
that we need.
Yes.
And often there is like what we really need. I mean, what do we really need? Do we need hot water?
Yes.
I mean, do we really need it?
Yes.
Or do we wish it? Or how do you make a balance of what do you really need and what actually you want? But you say, no, I need, but actually you want. How you balance that? Because there it's a little bit.
So the question is, what do we really need? Yeah. I mean, for sure, we need what, for example, I realized, and so when we were in Vrindavan, many times I also thought, oh, I would like this saintly person, this Baba, they have nothing. And I thought, oh, I would also be like to be like this. But what I realized actually that I cannot live like this. It's just not possible. It's just so I think also we need to consider our level of advancement, because I think we can become transcendental. If we are on that level, we can do it, but yeah, I don't know to what extent, but we can do it. But if not, we need to consider, for us, for example, Westerner, we could not live like that. Just our body and our mind will not allow it. And ultimately, again, that's not the aim, because then we have examples also of kings. Does it mean that the king has to, I mean, interesting enough, there are examples also, we see all the Parikshit Maharaj or the Yudhishthira or all the kings in the Bhagavatam, when they come to old age, they leave everything and they go towards the Himalaya. But at the same time, it's about, it's not the aim to be renounced. It's helpful, and if it's done also in a mature way, because otherwise it will be actually bring the opposite result. It will bring like a hardness of the heart, or it can bring us also to be proud that, oh, I'm just so. But so the point is also how we utilize what we have. And but also when we are not sure about something, as usually we can also, if you think, okay, on what level, first we need to be honest with ourselves and see, okay, yeah, how much I really need, how much I don't really need, to have just a peaceful mind, otherwise if we are constantly thinking, oh, okay, oh, it's too cold, oh, it's too cold, it's too cold, you cannot chant, or, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. So that, and on the other side also we can always double check. It's very important always to have like some friends or some, you will say, mentors in spiritual life that with whom we can also double check and see also. And also naturally, again, we can have it as a aim also to gradually let go more of things. Is also like, because it helps us to develop. Ultimately, we have to let go of everything and we need to die. So gradually it's good to enter in this mentality to let go and not to be attached to things. But it's again, needs to be gradual, it needs to be done in a mature way. I don't know if this answers some or other. Something else? Otherwise we continue with our day.
I have something, it's very personal. So, as you know, Krishna kindly purifies me since over 1.5 years from my attachment to overeating.
Mhm.
It's really, it's really bad, as I consider myself honestly, that although it's already full, it's enough. The senses and the mind once more. Now this satisfaction is not really there. Although Krishna puts me in a very best position as I have very good situated, and as I can totally confirm, if I had, I know if the three modes of nature are influencing me more, or the schedule is a little, unregulary, then it's totally terrible. And this for me, how to, because it's not possible that every day is ideal, also that you have the ideal schedule every day. Also how to survive these days without getting totally out of balance. And then it's, also I'm not able to this satisfaction with a certain amount of Java. And then I'm still more unsatisfied, and because others I'm angry with myself that I'm such a fool that I know, although I know so many things and I damage my health, that I nevertheless do it, and I'm still more unsatisfied. Imagine that I punish myself with words. So, yeah.
Welcome to the club.
So the question is how not how
Yeah, how
to come out of.
how to become so intelligent or so spiritually strong that I can say, okay, you have got enough. This is good for you, and more is not possible anymore because your health is not able to take it. So, and to be so strong, even here is some defeat and everything. So you know that as a main very important part of Krishna consciousness.